Okay, we are recording. All right. Team Adams training, April 16th, 2018. A few of us just returned from Go Global in sunny Orlando, and then most of us came back to dreary Rockford. April 16th, and it's like 20 something degrees out. But we're just going to kind of share some of the takeaways from the people that were at Go Global, which was, I honestly, besides Sundance, for anybody that's been to Sundance is amazing, but that was probably one of the best events in my 3+ years of coaching. So I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I thought it was pretty awesome. So Tab, why don't you go ahead and take it away with your takeaways and what you thought about it?
I actually did not think this through at all, and we all know how I get nervous. So, we're gonna wing it.
Perfect.
So I don't think my takeaways are anything specific that I learned in class. I mean, they had some great trainings, a lot of skill honing things going on. It was fantastic. Them talking about us going international. Those were all amazing things. And the light up hula hoops. Seriously, they were really cool. But mine was more like a mindset shift for me. I have been personally struggling in my journey, not physically, but mentally. And that was where I grew the most in my original journey. Sorry, there's somebody popping up there. But it was almost like I'm struggling to find how to help people the best way and getting through some roadblocks that I'm having. So I've been sitting here for the last year and a half trying to figure out how to fix myself, really is what it boils down to. And I have figured out that I'm not supposed to just fix myself. I'm just supposed to go out and do those things. And I think it's just going to freaking fix itself that way. Like it sounds stupid if you I don't know. I am all over the place. I was also talking to one of my favorite people. Her name's Jana. I don't know if any of you guys know her, but I love her spunk. She's a spitfire. She is fierce and just strong in her personality, and she doesn't take shit from no one. And the fact that she can be strong and question people in their mindsets without doing it. I don't know if anybody else struggles with this, but I always have that thing where I'm too nice or I'm too big of a bitch. And just trying to find that in between while being a firm female role model. Like there is an in between, and there is a power that you can hold in yourself, and you don't have to be one or the other. Just be firm in what you're believing in. You're doing this to help others. So as long as you have their best interest at heart, then that's all that really matters.
Beauty. Love it. So funny you said that, Tab, about trying to fix yourself. I know that's part of your journey, but in the beginning of your journey, that really wasn't what you're doing. You were just doing the work, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's funny is my coaching session today, this is exactly what we talked about. He's like, okay, so there was a change, there was a shift, and what happened was you were doing the work, and then maybe you hit some roadblocks. Maybe some things weren't moving as fast as they used to. And then what we do instead of doing the work is we start trying to figure out everything, right? So now we're busy, but we're spending all of our time trying to figure it out. Like, what's wrong with me? What's going on? And, I think I've spent like a year and a half doing that. I'm working, right? But I'm not doing the work that gave us the success. Now, you do need to work on yourself, but you also need to do the things that got you there in the first place. And that's doing the work. And that's getting out there. And that's just being bold. And I know you know how to do that, Tab. So, but I think that's the same place though, because there's a point where you just like the excitement wears off. and then what do you do? Right? That's where your structure comes in. That's where maybe some deeper connections come in, because now I put a before and after out there and there isn't 10 people saying, oh, I want to sign up. Like, that's where it goes a lot more than just posting and people just show up at your doorstep, to actually going out and saying, how can I help serve you? What's going on with you? I might have something that could help that. And there's a difference there. Okay. And you know what? When you're talking about Jana is just someone that likes to have that conversation. She wants to know what people are thinking. She literally wants to know. She's not questioning what your thought is or whoever the person is. She's not saying like you're right or wrong. But what she's doing, she's just like, I want to know about that. And that's just being curious. And that's a great way. So that way you can say, you know, like we had a client start yesterday and he added a hard-boiled egg for some reason. Like, well, why did you decide to have that egg? You know, like I wasn't saying, dude, why are you doing that? She says, oh, why did you decide to have that? I'm just curious. Why did you do that? And then that opens the conversation, instead of saying, shaking your finger at them and being like, nuh-uh, you're doing it wrong. And then you can kind of just bring them back to what they want, why they want it, and then maybe move them forward with whatever tips it is. Awesome. Thank you, Tab. All right, so we have a guest speaker tonight that I brought on because she was hanging out with us most of the time. So I was like, hey, why not have Trina Miller hop in here and share a little bit. So if you guys don't know Trina, she's amazing. She started coaching right around the same time we did, and she's just an amazing soul. And Trina, go ahead and just share some of your takeaways from Go Global.
Thank you, Jason. I have to say thank you to Jason and Kate and Crystal and Tammy. They kind of adopted me these last few days because I was there. None of my team could go. There was some that was qualified, and so I went by myself. And I'm just committed to, no matter what, to be at every event, and I know how much I grow from that. And Jason started coaching a little bit before me, and the first things I went to, he made me feel so welcomed. He was a big part of really me taking hold because of that, his relational way, and making me feel comfortable. So I thank you, Jason, for that. But it was an amazing, amazing event. Everyone I've been to, they get better and better, and our company is just really paving the way to make coaching so much easier, and the training is getting more phenomenal than it already is. They've got new technology coming down the pike for us to even help coach our clients better and in more structure. So I'm looking forward to all that. And I'm not sure what all has been said so far, but talking about working on yourself, I totally have to agree. When we got out of the gate, it was gung-ho. And then when hitting some roadblocks, you kind of stop and analyze. And I did realize that there were areas I needed to grow. And on one of the trainings I heard, a leader can only lead as far as you've grown. So keeping that in context of growing and learning, as a percent consistently, but definitely having to do the action is part of the part that helps you grow through the things that you're afraid of. A couple of things that Dr. A stood out to me that he said, and something I dealt with was, especially in the beginning, and I thought I was a lot further ahead in it than I am now, but I am more ahead. Perfectionism, which I came from that area, is really all about your ego, because we don't want to look stupid or like we don't know what we're doing in front of people. And we don't want to do anything if we know we can't do it really good. And that hit me, because I still will hold back And I was actually thinking, I was going over notes. I'm still in Florida. I'm leaving tomorrow. But I was going over my notes I took, and about the time, Jason, that you messaged me about doing this, I was looking at that. And I was going to say no to your invitation because I'm not super comfortable at doing this. And I thought, wait a minute. I think this is a thing that is like, this is my opportunity to look stupid if I'm going to look stupid, but I'm going to share so I can learn. But his next statement was, we need the attitude that I don't care if I look stupid. I'm going to do whatever it takes to build this business. And so that really spoke to me because that's where I want to come from. I'm super comfortable bringing on clients. I could do that really, really well. My weaker points is in learning how to feeling confident in coaching coaches. But the other thing that stood out is when we are compelled, they use the word compel, which means to do by force, forcing ourselves, being compelled to be successful in this business is pushing past our fears. And so those on a couple of the things on, personally growing, those were a couple big things for me to start working on. And that if things don't challenge you, they're not going to change you. And if we're too afraid to look stupid in those things that are challenging us and not learn through it, it's not going to change us. Another thing that stood out is self-leadership is everything. So if we can't discipline and lead ourselves and be consistent, how am I going to lead my team? And I know I failed in that. I know that it's something I'm definitely working on, and I'm going to get better. Because just like the 5 and 1, one meal falling off the wagon, when we know we get back on it and we do that consistently, we're gonna get that momentum and we're gonna grow. But a couple other things that when we can identify, and it all comes down to our habits, disciplining our work habits in the coaching business. We can identify there's usually only a couple vital behaviors that when we change it, will change a whole lot of things. And when we can look at that and say, it's not a whole person I got to change, there's a couple behaviors in me that if I change will just really blow up my business. And when I can narrow those down and I can say, this is what I'm doing and I have a plan and I do it consistently, I'm going to see things change. So just a couple things that, as far as tools that really turned on a light bulb was when we know financially we're only going to grow so far when we just sponsor clients. It's sponsoring coaches that really is going to grow our business financially, which is totally helping so many more people. But when they talked about it in a way of searching for talent rather than coaches, I don't know, something clicked in me. And the talent of people that you're going to look for is they want more out of life. They're willing to do the work. They're hungry. They want more. They're humble, which means they're teachable and coachable. And they're smart. They're going to do the things that really are going to move forward, not just the busy work. And most important of all, they have a heart to help people and know that it really is all about serving and even serving people to get healthy and serving our coaches to find financial health. And that being compelled means I'm going to force myself to do it. It's that important to make a list of those I see talent in, start a conversation with them, and then repeat it all again tomorrow. So those are a few things that I found very helpful for me, and I just encourage everybody with convention coming up, don't miss it. They're really going to be unveiling a ton of great stuff. So thanks, Jason, for having me on tonight.
Awesome, Trina. Thanks for jumping on. Great job. And this was a nice intimate setting to do your do your Zoom. And I think just about everybody on here should be going to convention. If you're not, get on it. Like, that's my dad moment. Just, you gotta do it. Yep. I'm not gonna like break that all down, but that was awesome. But what I wanted to do, the one thing you said though right at the end, which was almost like an aha moment more right now than it was even at convention, is that, or at Go Global, is that you're searching for the talent instead of the people. So Dan Valentine was up there, and he had a bunch of pictures of people that are now like integrated presidentials, the top rank of the company. I was showing pictures, like, you know, one guy was like sleeping with his cat. You know, the other guy had a shirt on in the pool because, you know, he didn't want to take his shirt off. You know, all these just funny pictures of them before. And the perfect example is J.C. Dornick. He's a chiropractor, and he was a chiropractor who was overweight by like 80 pounds. That's probably not the person you'd be like, man, that guy's gonna blow up health coaching. You're like, no, he's a doctor and he's overweight. Like, but you're not searching for that. You're searching for the talent. He is somebody that's inspirational, has an awesome personality, is driven. I mean, he's a chiropractor. He had his own practice. He's driven. We just didn't have the right vehicle. And all you're doing is offering that vehicle to him. All right. Moving on, Miss Crystal Partlow, we'll have you hop on next, and then Kate will have you finish up.
Okay, so it's my turn. All right. What are my takeaways from Global? First of all, whatever you can do to qualify next year, you need to be there. But convention, as Jason said, is a must. You guys, we can drive there this year for you guys close by. It's going to save you some plane costs. No excuses. Must be there. And it's just for the community. Not everybody knows this, and I don't know why I'm going to share it, but apparently I'm going to. But this past summer, I've been coaching for 3 years for people that don't really know me, and you guys might not, and that bothers me because I've been doing this for a long time, but I wasn't doing it for a long time. I kind of let some discouragements that happened in my coaching business shut me down. They just flat shut me down on everything. And I almost quit multiple times this summer. But the one thing that kept me from just saying, nope, I'm done, was the community. I have made so many friends that I couldn't imagine not seeing multiple times a year that I said, I'll keep doing this and see what happens because I can't lose those friendships. And not that if I quit coaching, they would go away, but the opportunities to see them more often would. And I guess for me, going to Global really solidified why I didn't quit. This company blows my mind every time I'm there. It takes me away, and it reminds me that being comfortable is actually a really bad place to be. And I've said it recently, like last summer, I said I wasn't going to be comfortable anymore, but I didn't really believe it, and I never made a decision to stop. I just kept staying in my comfort zone. Yes, I qualified to go to Global, even though my business has definitely had some downsides. And I thought that was okay. Hey, I'm still at this level. It's okay. And I'm sitting there with all these people who I have known for 3 years. And I'm like, they're not any different than I am. The only difference is they're doing the work that I stopped doing. And kind of like Jason said, is that I was doing the work, but it was really easy in the beginning. Like, my husband lost 150 pounds. I lost 100 pounds. People were throwing themselves at us. It was easy in the beginning. But now I'm meeting people who don't know the old me. That old me was 3 years ago. People don't know that person anymore. So they don't know what I've been through. And I just needed that reminder that my story is still relevant, even though I haven't really shared it lately. In even my coaching story, you know, this business does have ups and downs. Not everybody shoots to integrated presidential in 6 months. I mean, we're just on a team that's kind of amazing. And sometimes it's really easy to get in that comparative reality, even with some people who you go on vacation with. But it's not. It's my own journey. And it's okay that we had a down season because I'm done being comfortable and now it's going to be an up season again. And it's not going to be overnight. I've got some work to do on myself to get there again, but I'm ready to start doing the work again. So besides all that, I just was, hopefully that encouraged somebody out there. I don't know. One of my biggest takeaways, though, because of that was, and if you're on the leadership call before this, you heard her say it again. Karen Schatzline got up there on our team line and talked, and she said that your past called and it has nothing new to stay. And it's true. My past is there. And yeah, I made some mistakes coaching. I think all of us could say we've made coaching mistakes, but it's in the past and there's nothing new. All I can do is grow from what I learned from doing and go to the next step. And I think that was a really big mind shift for me. So I have like a ton of notes, like seriously guys, like it's a crazy, here's a little note, and I have to look into it a little bit more myself, but if you guys don't know, this is like an actual like tip, Optavia Share, you can set up to put email addresses in there for prospective clients. So people that maybe are your not yets, and you have that that relationship that you've talked, but they were not yets, you can actually sign them up for a free newsletter from you that goes out weekly to their email. And it just kind of keeps, and I didn't even know that was there. Like when we first started, Jason can attest to this because I still get my emails from him. You paid for a service to send out a newsletter email every week. It's just there, free to take up. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. And I've been doing this, guys, for 3 years now. Like no idea with this Optavia Share was all out there. So I'm going to play with it a little bit. Maybe I'll do a little training video once I figure it out. But I think that that's a really cool tip that I didn't even realize was an option. So no matter how long you've been doing this, you're always learning something new. Okay, that's all I got. I'm going to stop. And I didn't cry. I'm impressed.
Nice
Okay.
job, Crystal. Yeah, so we had a little meeting with the Valentine team, and Crystal, a second, you said you were done with being uncomfortable. I believed it.
No, I said I was done with being comfortable. I'm ready to be.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, done with being comfortable. Done with being comfortable. Yes, done with being comfortable. I believe it. Man,
Same.
I know. We know. We've had this conversation. I'm just winking at you. And yeah, I didn't know about the Optavia Share, so I just learned that. Like, because I really haven't looked at it because I keep paying for my newsletter. So maybe I'm just gonna stop. It'll save me $30 a month or whatever. But yeah, I want to unpack everything, but that was great. I loved it. And I love too, though, the one thing that I really loved about this was you got to hear the journey of the people that weren't the quote unquote rock stars, right? You got to hear about the journey of the people that either didn't ever start or started and then fell back. Maybe they had some life and that they were able to just keep moving, keep doing the work and getting there. So awesome. All right. We are going to go a little bit over just because we got started late. What I think I'm going to do though is I might just save those questions. I wrote them down and maybe we'll just do some extra training on that another time. But we like to keep these about a half an hour. So Miss Kate Van Heist, I'm going to let you take yourself off mute because I don't know which one you are.
Right? Sorry, I want to see everybody, so I use the computer where the microphone thingy doesn't work. So I use the iPad for the sound, and I'm using the computer for the visual. And there you go. So confusing because I see myself on this one with the mic thing, and I'm like, oh crap, you can't hear me, but you can. So pretty much, I just want to first of all start because I can never go towards a script or notes. That's just not in my. It just doesn't work. Looking at all of your guys' faces, those of you that have been on program for a while and I haven't seen you in a couple weeks, can I just like raise the roof to your freaking faces? You are all like looking so svelte. I'm just going to put it out there. Okay. Yay, team. We freaking rock. Okay.
Wait, 1 second. Brian Patrick has lost 100 pounds. What? Yes. Okay.
Seriously, Brian, like we cannot be more excited for you. And for those of you that don't have 100 pounds to lose, congratulations for not making it to that point where you needed to, like some of us. But Brian, like seriously, 100-pound club's freaking rock star, man. So welcome, raise it. Oh, okay, I'll be quiet. So Things that I can take away from Go Global, first and foremost, Crystal talked about community. Something that I did not understand until a year ago, Go Global, where I went and did not understand what this company was about at all, like at all. And so in that last year, I completely have fallen in love with this community. Of course, I was already in love with the program because I was losing an astronomical amount of weight, which I had never done before. But now I'm helping other people get that life. And it's not just through weight loss. It is through growing yourself as a person. So you sit here and you listen to everybody that's talked so far tonight. And you listen to all of these things like, oh, the way that I've grown, the way that I've learned, the way that I looked at myself and said, maybe something needs to change. And that is probably the biggest takeaway from any event when you're going to like something like Go Global, where we're really talking about how do you as a person help other people become a better person on a much deeper level. It's not just about that physical weight loss anymore. It is about everything freaking else. And I know that all of us are on here and understand that there's so much more to be gained by this program than what we lose. Just from starting with the weight loss itself, you're just like, wow, look at all these triggers that I never noticed that I had. Look at how I, conduct myself in a different way than I used to. And when you do something like Go Global, it is more like, okay, so now that you've reached this level and you've changed all these other habits, what else can you do to further your life by helping other people's lives? And there's just this little switch that flips where it's not so much about you anymore. It's about what can you help other people and where can you fit into their life to bring them to some type of service, some type of benefit, some type of positive change. And it's really crazy how you start seeing everything and everyone with Optavia glasses, like everybody. And you're like, wow, you really need us. You really could use us. And then on the flip side, for that personal growth, to be able to say, wow, look at these places where I'm uncomfortable. Look at these places where I could be better. What could I do to really change the way that I think about that so that I can further somebody else in that respect? So out of all the classes that I took, there were bits and pieces. There's way too much to share. You just need to get there, y'all, to get the really good benefit of it. Because it's absolutely rock star. So like has already been said, convention, it is not even a choice, you guys. If you need help monetarily, we'll give you some guidelines on how to get there. It's just about opening your mouth a little bit more and having a couple more clients, helping somebody else reach a senior coach level, whatever that is that you need. We are here as your team to help you get there so that you can make it to convention and not miss out on this life-changing rock star thing that we do called Optavia. So I'll leave it at that because I know that we have no time.
Perfect. Thank you, Kate. And yeah, if you're ever thinking about, oh, well, I'm spending all my Optavia money going to the convention, you will earn that back tenfold. I spent my first $700 that I'd saved up from Optavia to fly out to Phoenix to just go to a regional event. And that is what lit the fire for me. And that was when I said, okay, let's do this. And obviously it's paid off pretty well. So if you're ever worried about that, you're like, invest in yourself. It will literally change your business. It will change everything. So I'm not going to unpack this too much, but what Kate was talking about is just showing up different, right? How do we show up to people? How do we help people and make it not about the business, right? Because we're serving people with no agenda. We're not going to say, well, if I help this guy move, maybe he'll sign up as a client. No, we're showing up to serve them because we have a heart to help them. And that will come through. And if they ever do want to get healthy, if they ever do want to be financially healthy, then they're probably going to reach out to you. But that's not the reason you're doing that. And just finding those opportunities to say, hey, yeah, I'd love to help. I'd love to show up. I'd love to just, looks like you're having a bad day. Would you like to talk? Would you like to just sit down and talk? And just leading with your heart and really showing people that they've been heard and that somebody is there to care for them. And okay, so I'm back on 501 full on today because I've been just like stagnant and I've been trying to work out and figure all that, and I'm going to get my workout going again, but I'm going to hit up Casey Mitzel. He's going to help me figure this out. I want us to be the sexiest team coming into convention. So if you've been a coach for a while and you're getting a little off track, or maybe you're just a little stagnant, get it. Done with that. Moving forward. It will also radically change your business. Radically. If you keep going in this, if you're that 501 prison, just moving back and forth all the time, your business is going to follow that. Or if your waistline's growing, well, guess what? Your business is going to shrink too. So let's do this. If you've just been kind of just sitting around, maybe you've been maintaining, it's time to step it up a little bit. Time to add some exercise in. Time to hit the weights. Let's do this. Let's bring sexy back. 2018. That song is really old. I don't know. It's like 2009. But anyways, it's just been, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I've just been kind of like just feeling just stuck, and I don't like that feeling, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to get on full on, no extra snacks, no, nothing like that. Let's just let the plan do what it is doing, and then come convention, let's do it. There you go. No more jiggle, Mary. All right. Thanks for staying on late, guys. Again, yeah, we'll get to these other questions. I have them written down here. And, that's also something like put that in your mentorship thread. There are people that will know the answer. And a lot of these things, like building my coaches. One thing I want to say, I don't know who wrote it, convincing coaches. We don't convince anybody. We offer. That is all we do, is we offer, and we say, hey, listen, this is what I heard from you. I think I have a solution. Would you like to take a look? All right.
Hang on. I want to say one thing on that, Jace.
Okay.
Don't convince anybody. It just does. I will speak from experience. Convincing never works. It doesn't. You will deal with more disappointment from convincing somebody and having to figure out how to deal with the disappointment than ever. Just go with the flow and offer and explore. That's all you can do.
Yep. And I just learned this today, and it was kind of a slap in my face a little bit from my coach. But, he's like, what do you do when you have those people that are ready to throw a credit card at you? You just sign them up, right? Let's sign them up. Guess what? You haven't got to that deeper level. Don't treat them any differently than you would anybody else. Like, ask those questions. Do the full assessment. Get into their why. See what's going on with them. And for me, like, I've always, hey, sign them up. I mean, that's kind of, like, okay, hey, he's ready to go. Okay, we can kind of deal with that later. But you know what? I never did deal with it later. I just sign them up and then, whatever. So take that time, guys. Take that time. Just like Crystal said, we don't convince anybody. If they're not ready for it, then we'll just wait till they are. All right. Have a good night. Bye.